Alright guys, welcome back. We are playing Higurashi, When They Cry. Chapter 6, Tsumihoroboshi. Last time was the best scene of all of Higurashi so far. So that was pretty cool when that happens. I've thought so much about that scene, you have no idea how much I've thought about that scene. And like, for one, just how good it was. How amazing, right? I love that scene so much. It was so good. And also, like, what we're really supposed to take from it, right? My thought on it, right? It's such a good idea, right? I want to agree wholeheartedly with Keiichi and this idea of friendship so much, right? Like I want it to be completely true so much, right? The but we have a little snag, right? We have this little problem, which, as the tip showed us, right, is this, right? Um it's like it's gonna come back to haunt you no matter what, right? Killing people, murder, is bad, right? I feel like I've said that a bunch of times, right? Killing people is bad. I've always been consistent on this, that killing is bad. You can, you know? Um, and here's the problem, right? Like, I don't, I feel like maybe, in a way, Keiichi's idea about friendship, and I mean, all of their ideas, really, right? Just friendship as a whole, I don't know if it can always be like that, right? It would be so great if the world really did work like that, you know? If, when your friends have a problem like that, you can... here's my problem. Here's my problem, right? Even as I'm saying all this, is like, it's so hard for me to argue against it in any way. For me to say that, like, what? Like, Rena did this. Rena killed them already. So, what do I want Keiichi and all them to turn her into the cops? Like, no, right? Obviously not, right? I guess maybe like the little snag that we're caught on here is just that it can't solve everything, right? That no matter what, believing in your friends and everything that Keiichi said in the last episode, uh, it can't be the solution for everything, right? It definitely isn't, right? What Rena did still happened, and unfortunately, there's more to it than just her trusting her friends and all of that, right? I don't really know what that means, right? I don't know. I don't want that to undermine that scene for me at all, like that idea. But it's definitely true, right? And it's definitely true just because obviously the author of Higurashi, like considering the end of the last chapter, like the staff room thing, right? They don't like murder, right? I know, what an uncommon thing. I don't like murder, they don't like murder, and it's shocking, right? What a surprise. And so therefore, like, obviously Higurashi, the story, isn't it's not about condoning murder. Every murder that has ever happened has been like awful and terrible, and it sucked, right? Of course, that's how murder probably normally is, you know? So if we can just solve everything with this power of friendship, you know, we all love each other and we understand each other and it's great. Yeah, I wish, right? But I just don't think that's reality. I don't think that's how it's gonna go, right? So I don't know. I just have to be along for the ride, I guess, right? I just have to be along for the ride. I just gotta see what's gonna happen. Like I don't know. I don't wanna try and dissect the themes too much before we've even gotten to them. So I guess all I can think of is that there's obviously a little snag. There's a little footnote on the amazing scene from last time that doesn't undermine what was said at all or undermine the message to me in any way. It just shows that there's more to it, I think, right? Okay, let's continue.
笑い続けて
Ooh.
いれば、いつか幸せになれると信じてきた。誰かのことを思えば、
Hmm.
相手も自分を思ってくれると信じてきた。
That would be nice.
悲しかった思い出を置き去りにして、少女は明日を見つめようと前を向く。甘えず、頼らず、たった一人で未来を
Hmm.
切り開くために。その先にあるものは幸
Oh,
せか、それとも不幸せか。
you can never know.
罪滅ぼし。
Right, that's the whole thing. You can never know what path you're
誰
on.
かを愛したかった。でも本当は 誰かに愛されたかった。
Can never really know where your decisions are leading you. Oh god. It's Watanagashi. What a turnaround, huh? You can never really know where your decisions in life are leading you, right? Pretty relevant for some other stuff we've been watching on the channel, huh? Yeah, I don't know. You can never know. It's kind of like it's a real question, right? Is whether or not your own happiness is your own responsibility, right? Like whether or not, if you're unhappy in your life, does that mean you should blame yourself for not making decisions that made you happier? In a way, I can understand. It feels empowering in a sense to feel that responsibility, because then you think that you can do something to change it. But there are things outside of your control, right? And I mean, Rena's kind of experienced that in this arc already with all the stuff with Teppei and Rena, right? It's not like she had anything to do with that situation. She still blames herself for it anyway and says she could have done something earlier, right? Or like her mom, what happened with all that, right? So I don't know. There's no easy answer. Okay, Watanagashi. What was the flavor? Keiichi said melon, right? Keiichi definitely said melon. Back talking about chapter 2, where they played that game. That was chapter 2, right? And they played that game where they had to guess, like, the shaved ice flavors, right? It was like the whole, like, the word, like, association game, right? Yeah. I see. There were a great many booths at this year's Watanagashi Festival. Anything can become a festival if there are vendors selling food and music for bond dances, I thought. It's still June, but it had been extremely hot for the past few days, almost as if it's already summer. God, around here, it's summertime by June. Like, it was like yesterday, it was like 92 degrees F, like 33 C, I think, is about what that is, right? Let me make sure I'm not crazy. Sorry, I know. America moment, right? Yeah, like 33 degrees C yesterday. It's March. It's March right now. So, like, what's up with that, huh? When you have a June festival with bond dance music under this kind of weather, the only thing that's missing to make it a perfect summer festival is fireworks. Oh, God. This is Ooishi? Oh, no. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, Jesus. What are we doing? Oh, God. I'm terrified. I've never been more terrified than I am right now. I am horrified. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, no. I am stunned right now. I don't know what to do. This feels deeply wrong to be in Ooishi's head. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, we gotta, man. I heard a voice coming from my portable radio, so I guess they're here. I mean, they're always here on Watanagashi, right? Oh, God, these are all Ooishi's thoughts. Oh, God. That feels terrifying. Of course they're here, right? Because, yeah, they're always here on Watanagashi. Because someone's gonna get murdered. With this earphone, it looks like I'm secretly listening to the horse races while on duty. I don't even know what to say right now. This is so terrifying. Oh, God. I was like, oh, we're back at home. We're on Keiichi's head. Everything's okay. It might all be poison. Look out. Right. I see. Ooh, right. I wonder in like the timelines where Shion doesn't do everything that she did in the last chapter. How does I just really wish I knew like how it normally goes, right? What even is the difference maker exactly, right? I don't know. That's just what Oryu being here makes me think of. Because she's not dead, right? She wouldn't be dead by the time, actually, anyway. Oh god, why? Okay.
あんのばあさま、死ぬときは絶対脳梗塞ですね。
Maybe.
了解
If she's
了解。
lucky.
すぐに戻ると丁重にですよ。
Although, I guess she had the luckiest death in
お伝
Miyakashi,
えく
didn't
だ
she?
さい。
Oh well, I guess I'll have to go back and mingle with the lookers. All of a sudden, a group of kids came running towards me from behind. Kill them! Get them! After a quick look at them, I noticed that they were the granddaughter of the old bag and her friends. They occupied a corner of the shooting gallery stall, making a lot of noise. Oh, are they doing that again, huh? Mion Sonozaki, what do you think of all of them, Ooishi, huh? When acting her age, she's a cute, normal girl. But do I ever hate it when she acts like a member of the Sonozaki family? Oh, she hates it too. She'll be the boss of the Okonomiya Yakuza territory in 10 or 20 years. Just you wait and see. And while I was thinking things like that, I noticed that Mion wasn't the one taking leadership of our group this time. It was the boy. That boy. I know him. He just moved here recently. The boy from the Maibara mansion. Keiichi Maibara-kun, was it? I heard that the Maibara family is from the city, and they're supposedly very rich, too. But he doesn't flaunt his family's wealth, and he has a good reputation because of that. Even though he just moved here, he's already adjusted to his new school, and he's popular with his classmates, too. Everyone in the village seems to like him as well. He's very interesting to watch, as a person of many moods. Boys of his age sure have a lot of energy. Ah, to be young again.
おい、
I see,
次
I
はレナだ
see.
ぜ。ここでレナはかなり美味しいタイミングだぜ。
大丈夫レナ具合悪いんじゃないの
Uh-oh.
ごめん、ちょっと射的は横で見てたいかな。
Why?
なら無理をしないで休んでいるといいのです。ではレナさんを飛ばしてここでいよいよ真打ち、
Interesting.
私の出番でございましてよ。
It looked like only 4 of them were having a good time. The girl called Rena seemed outside of that circle of smiles. Yeah, I'm... Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting. That makes me worry, right? Like, they're trying to... I assume everyone else in the group is trying to just keep things, like, normal, like how it was before. I just wonder how Rena feels, if she's able to... I don't know. Her name is Rena Ryugu. What was her real name? I can't remember, but I can check it when I get back to the station. Her real name is also Rena, by the way. Rena is only a nickname. I believe she moved here a year before Maibara-kun did. Her mother divorced her father, or something like that. She's a strong girl who does all the housework by herself. She's a very modest girl, I'm told, which is rare in this era. Unlike Maibara-kun, it seemed like she hadn't really opened up to her friends just yet. Oh, yeah, no kidding, huh? She actually hasn't, which is the crazy thing, you know? Man. God, what she said about friends is so sad. They had looked like a group of 5, but there's distance between her and the others. It's a little sad, you know. Maibara-kun has become part of the village, but Rena is still by herself. Ooh, that's such an ominous way to put it, considering Rena's worries about, like, fitting into Hinamizawa, because of, like, the whole Oishiro-sama leaving thing, you know? Well, that's just how it looks to me.
おいし了解。地域のお祭りにまで挨拶に来るなんて、うちの所長は地域交流に豆だな。
On the night of Watanagashi, I
大
can
木
believe
宮
it.
の祭りに来たって話は聞いたことないのに。
I sure can believe it.
ああ、こちら高杉です。大石さん聞こえますか？どうぞ。
No,
どうぞ。
can't hear you.
はいはい、おいしです。ただいま全速力で帰還中ですよ。もう1分ほどお待ちを。
If I don't hurry up, even the chief might end up calling me. I ran back to the headquarters tent. Ooh. Okay, okay. I wonder if we're gonna see... Oh, okay. We're just fast-forwarding through it. Alright. Interesting. Down by the river, did they talk to Keiichi again? I see. Did they have the whole thing with Tomitake? I wonder if they played the shooting game again. Maybe they did.
先生が到着してます。
Ooh, what's up, Eerie? What is up, man?
ああ、どうもどうも。どうですか、入江の先生。
Okay, we're not from Ooishi's perspective anymore. Ooishi entered the cordoned off area. Are we from Eerie's perspective or from anyone's perspective? In there, people from forensics were taking pictures of the corpse from various angles. Eri was squatting down next to the dead body of Jiro Tomitake. Right, okay. Well, not from Eri's perspective either, so interesting. When he stood up, he looked pale.
信じられません。
そりゃ私
Ripped
だっ
out
て
his
信
own
じられませ
throat.
んよ。
Which I just still... Oh god, I still don't know what to think about that at all. Something... I mean, it's something to do with Takano, obviously, right? Takano does something to him, or is something about something, right? But he rips out his own throat, right? Also, he could hear the banging sound that Shion could hear in Chapter 2, right? Which makes me think, always my idea was just that I also had the crazy shit that makes you go crazy, and he succumbed to it right here and died. But that just feels so weird, right? That just feels so weird, because it feels like he has none of the crazy symptoms of it. You know, he isn't acting crazy before this moment. So it's something to do with Takano, but, what does Takano do to him? I don't know.
初見で見た限り、仏は喉をかきむしっています。それも自分の手でです。こいつはまっとうな死に方じゃない。
Not at all.
十中八九、何らかのヤバめな薬物でしょう。
And they keep saying that, but I don't believe that.
彼は何らかの薬物の常習者だったということでしょうか。
I don't think so.
さあね。そいつを調べるのはどうやら我々の仕事になりそうです。
大石さん、この角材は
Oh, right, yeah. How they, yeah. I mean, there's that whole thing about how he was swinging that thing around, and it seems like he got beaten up by multiple people and all of this. But all of that could just have weird explanations that make, you know what I mean? That's just not. So I don't know.
で、途中で捨てて喉をかくのが楽しくなっちゃったんじゃないか。
Threw it away and had more fun clawing at his throat. Right.
角材を何のために振り回したんでしょう。
And I mean, obviously, it's Eri is here, right? I would think Eri knows something. Eri obviously knows something, right? Obviously, he has to, right? There's the whole thing with Satoshi and him. Eri knows stuff, right? I don't really know the extent to what he knows, right? God, I don't even remember what we've talked about when involving Eri, right? But the main thing is in Chapter 3. In Chapter 3, when he, betrayed Keiichi, right? When Keiichi was in the demon world, right, from his perspective. I think Eri could obviously tell that Keiichi was going through the same crazy shit that makes you go crazy that Satoshi was going through, right? And that was why that's why he wanted to, knock Keiichi out and all this stuff, right? Eri knows stuff about it, whatever it is, right? Does that mean he can tell what really happened to Tomitake? I would... maybe. It just really depends what he knows. I don't know, right? Is clawing out your own throat, a well-known symptom of this? Obviously, we've seen it all the time, because it happens to Tomitake every year. It's happened to Keiichi. It's happened to Rika, right? It's happened to all these characters, but none of the previous murder victims have clawed out their own throat, so from all of these characters' perspective, clawing out your own throat is this new thing that's never happened before, right? So, that actually is interesting. So I just wonder how it looks from Eri's perspective.
自衛のためと考えるのが一番自然だと思います。仏の体に外傷がいくつかあるのに気づいてます？
ええ、打撲傷を思わせる跡がいくつか散見できます。
Okay.
ってことは、一番考えられるストーリーは、仏が祭り終了後、沖宮へ帰る途中、ここで何者かに襲われた。
But all the bruises could have happened after he died, right? It could have just been one person, right? There's no reason to think it's multiple. He could have died and then people started beating up his corpse to bruise him and make it lay, you know what I mean? Although, well, I don't know.
それで、取り押さえられて、怪しげな注射とかそういうのをされて、その結果、錯乱させられて死に至らしめられた。
It feels like such a troll to me, because there was no way, it's this long, extended troll by the author. I'm telling you, it has to be, right? Because Chapter 5 is really trying to make us think that Rika, the syringe that Shion took from Rika and stabbed her with, is, like, the evil, crazy syringe that makes you rip out your own throat and go crazy, right? But why? Why would Rika be trying to inject Shion with that? Why? Just to have fun? Like, no. If Rika's goal was to kill Shion, she would have brought a gun and shot her in the head, right? Obviously, that would probably be pretty hard to do. She could have just hid a knife in her pocket and stabbed her, right? Like, I don't know. It would have been totally different. There's no reason for her to try and do that. No, the syringe has to be a cure, right? That is why she had it in Chapter 2 and Chapter 5, right? But then what's my explanation for what happened to Rika afterwards, right? Is, like, I don't know. Right? I don't know, right? Like, my idea is, to like, I can't really think of anything that makes any sense that isn't just, like, me making something up, honestly, right? But no, I'm telling you, this is a long, extended troll, and I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for it. Or Chapter 1, right? Yeah, right?
私もそっちは専門じゃありませんが、薬物中毒の一つに自傷行為ってあるらしいじゃないですか。まあ、その辺はうちの鑑識のじい様が調べてくれるでしょう。
Okay, I suppose.
おいさん、失礼します。
I mean, I don't know about that. I don't know if many drug addicts rip out their own throats, but sure, if you say so.
ここから数百メートルのところに富武二郎のものと思われる
Ooh,
自転車が見つかりました。
interesting. So Takano had it in Chapter 3. I assume she planted it here. Well, what did she have Tomitake's body in her trunk too? Like, like, maybe, right? I don't know. Like, how did that work, right? Takano casted her magical spell on Tomitake to make him go run off into the middle of the road and claw out his own throat and punch himself a bunch to bruise himself, right? She had his bike in her car for some reason that wasn't near him, somehow, for some reason, and then came to where he died and dumped it here? I have no idea. I don't know, right? How would that even happen? Tomitake and Takano, I have no clue. I don't know. That all makes a lot of sense there, doesn't it?
あれ、何か手がかりとかは？
いえ、初見では特には。今、鑑識が言っています。
じゃあ、つまり、その自転車があった場所が襲撃場所と考えていいんでしょうね。
Interesting. Why would Takano want to
戦ったり
do
逃げた
that?
りしてここまで来た。
I don't know. Ooishi frowned, crossing his arms in front of his chest. Iri was looking at the miserable corpse of Tomitake and kept saying the same thing over and over.
ありえない。
It's impossible.
絶対にありえない。
Ooh, interesting. That is an interesting thing for him to say. That is a very interesting thing for him to say. Just because I wonder, like, what he's referring to exactly, right? Like, what is he thinking? Ah.
先生、ありえちゃったんだから仕方がないです。
So I imagine he looks at Tomitake, and he can tell something about it. I don't know.
まあ、先生でもこんな死体はなかなか見慣れてるものじゃないか。
Well, yeah, I would certainly hope not. Neither do you,
先生
Ooishi.
はもう結構ですよ。お帰りになられて十分休んでください。救命活動でお呼びしたはずだったんですが、無駄足になってしまって申し訳ないです。
Interesting. Ooishi stuck his head out of the blue tent and asks, "Can anybody give him a ride home?" Iri gasped all of a sudden as he turned to Ooishi. Ooh.
そうだ。
I,
高野さんは
I'm sure.
高野さんはどうなったんです？
Good question.
え？おお、お宅の看護師さん。
多分
Right,
富
right.
武さんと一緒だったと思うんです。
Does Iri get suspicious of Takano after this?
高野さんは無事なんですか？
Oh, he seems like he's so not, though. You know?
彼女の電話番号はわかります？
もちろんです。
熊ちゃん、入江の先生に電話番号を聞いて、署から在宅確認を取らせてください。
So that's how she's normally missing, right? That's why she's normally missing. And then sometimes they found her body, right? In Chapter 1 they didn't, right? I think every other one they have.
了解っす。先生、番号。はい。
Okay.
よろしいですか？
Kumagai got the phone number from Iri, repeated it back, and then dashed away from the blue tarps.
先生、 高野さんと仏は確か親しい仲でしたよね。
Very.
ええ、
何かトラブルがあったとか、そういうのは聞いたことがあります？
まさか聞いたことないです。
Nothing that would
仲の
cause
いい
this,
二人で
right?
した。
I'm sure. I mean, because I think Takano's motives are not normal. I still think the reason why she kills Tomitake, the reason why she's doing whatever it is she's doing, the reason why she kills Rika, whatever else she does, I don't even know, right? It's like some weird, like, ritualistic. She does it for the lore, right? She loves the lore. She wants to like perpetuate it, right? But like, that's not much of a reason, you know. That really is not much of a
何
reason.
事もなけりゃいいんですがね。下手すりゃ仏か、それとも星か。
Indeed. Or both.
なるほ
Or
ど。
both.
看護師なら怪しげな薬物を取り扱えてもおかしくはないですよね。
Ooishi, there's no drug that nurses have that you inject it into someone and they rip out their own throat. It's just not, it's not a
そんな
thing.
薬品
Yeah.
はうちの診療所にはありませんし、
And, yeah, I
あっ
mean,
たとしても厳重に保管されています。
if there was a drug that made you rip out your own throat, that would be the most, like, checked drug ever. I think that would not, like, when I was at EMT, on the ambulance, we had, like, the, like, you know, powerful, like, pain relief drugs. Like, in between every single shift, you count every single one, and they either, like, always locked, right? Like, a drug that makes you kill yourself instantly. It would be illegal for that to exist. Like, I don't know, right? Like, it's like, that wouldn't, no, that wouldn't be a thing.
高野さんに持ち出せるわけがない。
それでも一般人よりは容易でしょ。
I
ですから
guess.
そもそもそんな薬
I
物は
guess,
聞いた
right?
ことが
Sure.
ないし、
I was not that it would be
当診
impossible,
療所にも
right?
存在しません。
Interesting. Interesting.
大石さん、留守のようです。
Interesting. I believe Erie. Right, I believe Erie that he hasn't. Because I think Erie has, like, produced the cure. I think the syringe that is supposed to cure you is what Erie has made, right? Based off of his, like, experiences with Satoshi and everything, right? That's my idea. So yeah, I believe him, right? I think I do. I think I have to. Okay.
秘書の待機組の方で直接訪問すると言ってます。先生、すみませんが、高野さんの住所を教えてください。
熊ちゃん、それプラス県警に今夜出た身元不明の女性死体がないか確認を取ってください。あるいは県外の可能性もあるんだ。課長に近県にも同様に身元不明の女性死体が出ていないか確認を取るよう伝えてください。
了解っす。
高野さんも殺されているというこ
Well,
とですか。
there's always two.
さて、
There's always two.
まだ外車とも星とも決まったわ
Ooh,
けじゃありません。
interesting. Interesting he's so sure.
無関係って可能性だって残ってます。
I guess.
明日は月曜だってのも構わず、その辺の飲み屋で飲んだくれてる可能性もありますからね。
信じられない。どうしてこんなことが。
Yeah, right?
まあ、私だって信じられないです。
Because I've always had this question about this relation between Takano and Erie, right? Because she works at the same clinic as him, right? I guess just taking Erie's reaction to this at face value, it makes me think that, yeah, Erie has no idea that Takano has any relation to any of the stuff at all, right? And I mean, I guess I don't know either, right? I don't know either, right? But I always kind of wondered if that was like if that was a connection between them, right? In terms of like them both, they both work at the same clinic. The clinic is related to, well, Erie seems to have developed this drug that cures the crazy shit that makes you go crazy. That just makes sense to me if he is the one who did so. And it would just make sense to me if Takano was like part of that too. But I can also imagine her not being part of it. And like, I could even imagine her wanting to work at the clinic because Erie is there and because she somehow knows, you know, but I guess we don't know how long, we don't know how long Takano has worked there. We don't know how, you know, we don't know what she knows about Erie. We don't know what Erie knows about Takano. So I don't know. I don't know. That's a really useful train of thought to go down, wasn't it?
これで5年目ですよ。お社様のたたりが5連続ってことになっちまいます。くそ。なんとか今年で尻尾を掴んでやりたいな。
You sure do. You sure
前
do.
に この山だけはなんとか片付けたいんです。
Ooishi hates the curse of Eishiro-sama, and had been leading him around by the nose for 5 consecutive years. The victim of the first year, the manager of the dam construction site, was his friend. Despite his desire to avenge his friend, the mystery had only deepened, and one case followed another year after year. Ooishi would be retiring next March. As a retiree, he'd be able to ask about the progress of the investigation, but he wouldn't be able to take the initiative anymore. In other words, this year was his last chance for revenge. Would he have put his head in the lion's mouth to capture the culprit? Have to put his head. Ooishi quietly clenched his fist. I believe that this maze has an exit. Maze is a very convenient word. A maze always has an exit. You don't call it a maze if it doesn't have one. I know I'm on the right path towards the exit of this maze. I used to miss these minor divergences, but now I don't miss anything. I don't make any mistakes. This time, I could feel a response that was different than all the other times. I'm sure I can finally get to the exit of this maze. But, no matter which path I choose to come to this point, Jiro Tomitake always dies. Okay, this has to be Rika. This is Rika talking, right? It has to be, you know? It has to be, right? I wonder if this is all... Because we kind of had, like, some weird, like, third-person narrator for a bunch of this, you know? So I wonder if this was all, like, Rika thinking, or, like, telling it to us in some weird, like, meta way, you know? Interesting. Yeah, I guess I understand her viewing it as a maze, like her situation, right? Yeah, minor divergences, like the slight differences. Right, okay. Yeah. No matter which path I choose to come to this point, Jiro Tomitake always dies. That is interesting. No matter which path I choose to come to this point. It's interesting to me, because we talked about the timeline stuff, like, really early on, in, like, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, where, like, I just made the observation that, yeah, like, the timeline, like, kind of moves forward some every time, right? It's like it feels like some of the stuff that happened early on is, like, set in stone almost. That always happens, right? And then it's like it moves forward some, right? I don't know. Is it actually like that from Rika's perspective, or does she just live her whole life every time and then you know what I mean? Can all that stuff still change? We just haven't seen it change? That'd be weird, right? Why would it all be the same up to a certain point? You know, like in chapter 1, 2, and 3, it felt like we were progressing, right? I don't know. Tomitake always dies, huh? Oh, I love this shot so much. Damn, that was a quick Watanagashi, huh? Oh, nighttime already. On the day after? Maybe? Morning after? Jesus. Or, the morning after. The day after. Oh, we're just gonna keep going, huh? Man. Rena had been sick ever since that day, and she had been able to join on club activities as often since. Oh, right. Oh, that really worries me. Her being sick like that, you know? Because I was thinking about it at the end of the last chapter too. I was thinking about Shion, when she was like lying in bed all night talking to Satoshi, right? Because she was talking about how she, you know, it's like she was sick, right? That's certainly what it makes me think in my mind. I wonder if there are like physical symptoms like that of the crazy shit that makes you go crazy, right? If that's affecting Rena now, you know? But why would it be? Why would it be affecting her? You know, because again, it's always like this emotional thing. Well, no, right? It's obviously she just went through this very emotionally powerful moment, right? So yeah, that could certainly be a trigger for the crazy shit that makes you go crazy, obviously, right? Like for doubts about all of it, about friendship, all of that stuff, right? Yeah.
まだちょっと風邪っぽいの。
God, you gotta go to Dr. Erie. Like,
そうで
for
ございます
several
の。
reasons, probably.
それは残念ですわね。
なあレナ、たまにはパーッとはしゃいでみないか。多
I
分元
feel
気に
so
遊べ
bad
ば
for her.
吹っ飛ばせると思うんだよ俺は。
そうだね。それはおじさんも同感だね。
そうかな。この
Yes, please.
横になっている方が かえって毒になることもありますです。
God, I can't help but read in so much into every single line Rika says. But I don't know. I won't go too crazy.
そうですわよね。病は気からとも言いますですわ。
That's not really true, Sadako, but I wish. Everybody had suspected for a while that Rena isn't really sick, at least physically. It's just that many things happened to her all at once. She caught a mental cold. That's why I thought she would get better once she played with us, just like we used to. It seemed like Rena was aware of that too. I mean, it has to feel so, like, I don't know. I just don't even know what it would feel like. It just has to be so crazy, you know, like whatever she's feeling. She knew that she had to get out of her state of depression soon. She wanted to get better, and she wanted to have fun again every day.
よし、私も参加する。
Okay, let's go. And we have some good music.
オッケー。
One of my favorite tracks, for sure.
そう来なくちゃね。じゃあ今日はレナの病み上がりも少し加味してテーブルゲームから種目をチョイスしよ
Alright, alright.
う。何がいいかな何がいいかな。
Mion started rummaging through her locker, humming to herself. She took one game after another from the locker and put them aside. That locker definitely didn't obey the laws of physics. The amount of games she took out from the locker was more than what it could physically hold. Didn't Keiichi say like the exact same things in chapter 1?
久しぶりにやってみよう
I
か。
want it to be a game we played before as
今日
well.
は本格派ゲー
Yes,
ムでいこう。
I was gonna say, I hope it's Clue. Yes, okay. And maybe Keiichi and Rena can do what they were supposed to do back in chapter 1 and team up.
なんだよそれ。面白そうだな。
Very.
ね、犯人と凶
Ooh,
器、犯
God.
行現場の3つを当てるゲームなの。
God, how far we have come from back in chapter 1 when we played this game, you know? When I remember I was reading so much into like every little thing about it. Obviously, I still think it's like meta in a way, right? It's supposed to make you think, obviously, right? Of course. Ah, God.
結構頭を使うんだよ。
That'll be hard.
一度やればすぐに覚えてしまいます。ちゃんとメモに整理していけば大丈夫なのです。情報の整理にはちょっとしたコツがありますのよ。素敵な私の最も得意とするジャンルでございますわね。
Right. Which one's broccoli? Again, Sadako. The rules don't seem that difficult. In short, it's a game where you sound out the cards that each player holds in order to try and reason out the identity of the cards first drawn out of the deck. There are plenty of games in different formats where you try to identify something hidden in the least number of steps. This one just happens to be a competitive one of those. The key to winning this game would be how well you can organize your information. We usually like to play athletic games so that we can run around a lot, but in our club, you have to excel both academically and athletically.
よしよしよし。なんだか面白くなってきやがった。やろうぜやろうぜ。レナ、今日こそ曖昧になってる。あの水鉄砲勝負の時の白黒をつけてやる。
I see.
そうだね。よーし、レナも本気で行くからね。
Oh, I'm just worried. I don't know, right? Like, here's the thing about Rena, right? Is for so long, for so long, she kind of put on, like, not a facade, really, but she forced herself to act in that really, like, happy, you know, dumb way, almost, right? To try and make herself be as happy as possible, all of this, right? And I just wonder if after everything that happened in the last one, right? The whole talk with everyone, if she feels like she can't do that anymore, or that she shouldn't do that anymore, right? It has to... Oh, I don't know, right? It just has to feel so weird.
レナが本気なら、僕も本気を出さないといけませんです。
You don't want to see serious Rika.
ですわね。あの水鉄砲の一件以来、ケイチさんとレナさんの評価を改めましてよ。容赦なく行かせていただきますわ。
よしよし、盛り上がってきたね。おじさんもこういう暑さを期待してたんだよ。
Finally. I hope nothing interrupts it.
よし、
God.
行ってみよう。
The cops show up, arrest Rena.
こ
Oh,
れがナイフで書斎はどうだ。
I did it with a knife in the Oh god, they're gonna say like Rena did it with a hatchet at the junkyard or something. It's gonna... Oh god, it's gonna ruin everything. Oh no.
あるよ。レナはね、ケイチくん毒薬で玄関ホールだよ。
I see. So how does this game work again? So people make guesses, and people have to say if they have one of those cards, right? Is that? I don't remember. It's been so long since I played Clue. I have no idea.
私はこれですわね。ミオン、ピ
Oops,
ストル、
I
ラウ
skipped
ン
that.
ジです。
Pistol Lounge, yeah.
ピストルはあんたが持ってるんでしょ
Or no, so people don't say, you just have to like try and suss it out. But how would that ever work? I don't know. I don't know. How would you? So I guess I don't remember how the game works, right? You have your cards, so you know that it can't be any of those cards, right? So you make guesses, and when those guesses are wrong, you know it's not that combination of things. But how do you narrow it down? You know what? It doesn't matter. How's that sound? We're not gonna figure out the mechanics of the game when I don't remember them.
下手なフェイクは意味ないよ
犯人と凶器は特定できたと思います。
Really?
犯行現場が2択なのです。
Obviously, this feels like quite a topical game to play in universe to them right now, too, considering the whole situation with Rena and everything, you know. It goes without saying.
リカちゃんも私は犯人が2択で特定できない。
God, that's also such an interesting thing for Rika to say. Like, is that true? You know what I mean? Does Rika know the suspect in the murder weapon? Of, like, the story at large? Right? I don't know. The suspect of what? The murder of who? When? What even matters? I don't know. I guess just Rika needs to not die. That's what it comes down to, right? That's the real thing it comes down to. We need everyone in the club to not die, and we need Rika to not die. To fulfill Rika's wish in Chapter 4 of all of her friends not dying and herself not dying, right? That's what we need to do, right? So, yeah, they all have to not die. We have to fulfill this long list of conditions for them to all not die, not succumb to the crazy shit that makes you go crazy. And we have to prevent Rika's inevitable death in 7 days, or however long we have now, right? Okay.
コツは相手の質問内容からも
In which case, it's talking. Right, obviously, you know.
それがわかれば、時には相手の手札で答えがわかることもありましたよ。
Interesting. I guess it's like such a mind game, though, you know?
なるほどな
It's like such a... I feel like the most optimal way to play this would just use a random number generator to decide your questions, you know?
くそ甘く見てたかやべえメモがぐちゃぐちゃで意味がわからなくなった
Keiichi, come on.
メモに書き取るコツが分かればこのゲームは7割方攻略しても同然だね
Wow. If everyone has a 70% chance, though, how's that work?
7割程度じゃおじさんには勝てないけどさ
Right, you have a 99% chance. I kind of knew I didn't stand a chance of winning this game, but I gradually started picking it up. Rena seemed to be getting her energy back as she played along. It was the right decision to force her to play with us today. While we were in the middle of the game, Chi-sensei came into the classroom.
楽しそうですね。
Indeed,
ところで、
indeed.
リュウグウさんはいますか？
Oh, I'm worried. Is her dad here, I wonder?
リュウグウさんにお客様が来ています。
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh no. Who would it be? Who would it be? Who would it be? Kasai? Because there's the whole... Well, I mean, maybe. The only reason I say Kasai is just because there's the whole situation with that wasn't figured out, right? Where she asked me on to, like, have Kasai come down here for the thing that she, you know, blah, 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 right? Yeah, okay. Everybody looked puzzled. Parents sometimes showed up at school for some reason, but Chi-sensei never called them visitors. It's rare to have a visitor at school. Yeah, last time it was fucking Ooishi. It better not be Ooishi again.
なんだろう。ちょっと行ってくるね。みんなは部活続けてて
Oh,
ね。
God, we don't want to. Rena left the classroom at a run. Oh, this is so... But, like, with Keiichi, Ooishi showed up while they were playing Clue, right? And then Ooishi started, you know, mentally torturing him to make him go insane, right? Right afterwards. Is that what's happening with Rena right now?
どうする待ってるか
どれだけかかる用事かわからないからねレナもああ言ってたことだし
Oh, no, wait, it's so interesting though, right? Because I'm thinking about it how in Chapter 1, Ooishi basically saw Keiichi as, like, the outsider in all of this, and tried to use Keiichi as the inroad to, like, his friend group, to Mion specifically, right? And now, earlier in this subchapter, he was at Watanagashi, looking at Rena, being like, oh, it looks like she's an outsider in the group, and now he shows up, and he's gonna start doing that to her. Maybe so. Maybe so.
私たちは続けようか。
We're gonna cut to Rena? Probably. Maybe. Indeed. Around the entrance, the glaring sun and the cool shade made for a clear contrast. Oh, God, I fucking knew it. I knew it. It was either gonna be him or Kasai. Oh, God. Oh, this fucking guy. I hate looking at his face. Is that just me? Is that just me? Like, God. Can't stand this dude, man. I know it's probably unfair of me to always view Ooishi like this, right? In a sense. But he's definitely, like, a sociopath. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. An old man who's holding his jacket on his arm was waiting for me. He looked like he was overheating, and his tie was limp.
竜宮さんですか。
No. Say no, run away.
竜宮レイナさん。
Oh, God. Don't do that. Ever since Rena called me Rena, I've hated the name more than ever. Because of that, I didn't have a good first impression of this man. Yeah.
そうですよ。どちら様ですか？
私の車はエアコン
Oh
がついてますか
God,
ら、
not the
そ
air
っちでお話
conditioning.
ししましょ
Not
う。
the air conditioning. I mean, we haven't had a moment where I've lost my mind over the whole, like, cold, hot, temperature, symbolism, analogy, metaphor thing in a long time. But it still means something. I don't know what, right? The first time we ever saw it was with Ooishi's air conditioning in his car, right? But I don't know.
ここ暑くありません？
Say no, please. He ignored my question and started walking towards the car parked in front of the school gate. If he wanted to talk about something normal, he would have used the teacher's office. But he wanted to talk in his car instead. I couldn't help but feel suspicious. Chi-sensei let him see me, though. That meant he wasn't a suspicious individual as far as she was concerned. Well, she knows about him, right? I mean, who was he?
取って食いやしません。
I don't know about that.
Dozo,
You might,
dozo.
honestly. Wouldn't surprise me. He called out to me while opening the rear door. Is he a policeman? Did the police find out that I killed those two? Oh, God. Oh, no. I felt anxious all of a sudden. Was this what they called a voluntary interview? Yeah, assert your rights. Ask for a lawyer. I don't want to go in that car, but if I rejected his offer, it'd only make me look suspicious. I prepared myself and got in. It was really cool inside the car. There it is. A car AC must cost a fortune. At least, my father's car doesn't have one.
冷えすぎだったら言ってくださいよ。
My mom used to tell me stories about how her dad's car, when she was growing up, didn't have AC, and they had, like, leather seats, and they would get so hot, like, in the summer. They didn't have a garage. It would just sit there in the sun all day. It would be so... You literally couldn't use the car. Like, it was just... You couldn't sit down. It was impossible. Like... Which really... That sounds really great. Sounds really fun.
私ガンガンに冷やしちゃうたちですから。
It's so weird. It's weird that now every car ever has an AC. Isn't that weird? Like, what changed? I don't know.
で、私に何の用ですか？
Just changes like manufacturing. It's just easier now, I guess. In retaliation, I ignored his question and got to the point like he did. He pulled a small notebook out of his breast pocket and flipped through it. He picked out a photo from it. The photo showed the face of a goofy-looking
この男性のことでご存知のことがあったら教えてくだ
It's
さい。
literally, it's just The Sims Chapter 1. He's doing the same thing to Rena that he did to Keiji. The man in the picture was expressionless and looked half asleep. Sometimes you can't even recognize your own family members in a photo where they don't have an expression. So there's no way I would recognize a person who wasn't related to me. But anyway, that was a bit of a relief. This had nothing to do with Rena or her partner.
シャツにマジックで落
Oh,
書きがあり
yeah,
ましたね。
okay. So it was just like
リュ
chapter
ウさ
1.
んをはじめクラスメート何人かの署名入りでした。
これ、富武さん？
I don't feel his usual carefree unreliableness from this picture at all. From this half-awake, emotionless face.
では、こちらの女性はわかりますか？
I knew what he was going to show.
ミオさんです。高野ミオさん。
二人に最後に会ったのはいつですか？
綿流しの祭りのお開きになった直後くらいにあったと思います。
何か気になったこととかありませんか？
Oh, did they talk to her? Why would they talk to her? I don't know.
富武さんたちに何かあったんですか？
Makes me think about, like, the last time Rena and Ooishi really interacted,
よっしゃ
was like, I mean, like chapter 2, right? Like the end of chapter 2. I'm trying to think. Did she ever talk to Ooishi in chapter 3? I don't think so, right? Or just like the ending parts of chapter 2, when she like called him out for being a lunatic, right?
取った
Okay, back inside.
実はよレナとミオンで二択だったんだよな
じゃあ博打だったんですの？
Well, yeah, what else are you gonna do?
なんてリスクのあることを。それでも勝ちは勝ちなのですよ。
Indeed. For you too, Rika. Come on. We gotta win.
お、レナだ。おかえり。ずいぶん時間かかった
Ooh,
ね。
what is her attitude like, huh? Mion noticed that Rena had returned. Like, obviously, I don't want to think at all that there's any way she's gonna fall into the same, like, crazy paranoia that Keiichi did in chapter 1, right? Like, no way, right? Why would she? She knows her friends so much more, and trusts them, I feel like, so much more than Keiichi did in chapter 1, right? Ooishi wouldn't be able to, like, get under her skin in the same way that he did with Keiichi, right? How would he? How would he? She looked exhausted. I have no idea what she talked about with the visitor, but it was obvious it wasn't something fun.
レナ、大丈夫？
She should tell us. She should tell us what happened.
何大丈夫って。
Right. Uh-huh.
いや、顔色だよ。青いというか、白いというか。本当に大丈夫？
Ooh. Rhoda tried to convince us she was fine, but her face clouded over for a moment, and she decided to leave early. Oh, I'm worried. I shouldn't have forced her to join the game. Don't blame yourself, Keiichi. I was regretting it a little. Rena probably forced herself to play with us, even though she wasn't feeling well at all. Rena put her stuff in her bag, apologized to us for leaving early, and left the classroom.
まあ仕方ありませんわね。ではせめて私たちの白黒ははっきりさせようじゃございませんの。
Oh, you all losers? Come on.
そうだね。
Did
次は
Keiichi
誰
just
の番だ
win?
っけ？
よっしゃリカちゃん来やがれ
Okay. I am deeply concerned. I am deeply, deeply, deeply concerned. I guess to clear up, if it's not obvious, my thoughts on Ooishi, I don't think he's doing any of this on purpose, right? I don't think he's anything to do with the murders. I think he genuinely wants to solve them, and he has no... The text color has changed a little bit. Okay, sorry. I don't think it has anything to do with the murders. I think I think it is purely through this relation to Ooishi and the way he is treating these kids, and the way he treats, like, everyone, that causes this anxiety in them, because he's a cop, he's an interrogator, that results in these symptoms of the crazy shit that makes you go crazy, like, happening, because it's so closely related to, like, this emotional, like, distress, it feels like. The text color really has changed, huh? That is a very unpleasant color, frankly. Huh. It's much more red than before, right? It's almost like orange-ish, you know? First of all, I wasn't very close to Mira-san. I knew who she was, so I greeted her whenever we happened to pass by. But that was about it. I never really talked to her except for one time. And that time was only recently. It was between the day of the Watanagashi festival and the day I was caught in the act of burying the 2 corpses by Keiichi-kun and my other friends. Ooh. I had a phone call from the library that evening, and I was told that my father needed to return the book he borrowed. He was shopping at the home improvement store at the time, so I went to the library to return the book for him. While I was there, I thought about borrowing some books for myself, and I started walking around the library, just like Shion. I saw her there. This little thing, huh?
レナちゃんじゃないかしら。こんにちは。
みおさん、どうもこんにちは。図書館で会うなんて珍しいですね。
そう？私にとってみれば、あなたが図書館にいることの方が珍しいんだけどね。
Interesting. She smiled in the very attractive and charming way that only mature women can do. Her smile gave no indication that she knew her death was just a few days away. Well, yeah, it isn't. She said that she often met with Tomitake-san at the library. It seemed like she had some time to kill, so she told me she wanted to buy me a drink. I had nothing to do after that. I let her buy me a canned iced milk tea from the vending machine in the library. And we talked for a while. Once I came to think about it, it was a little ironic. She mostly talked about the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. She had no idea she was going to be the victim of its 5th year. Interesting.
開始事件ですか？
Interesting. Why talk to Rena about it though? Right? I understand her talking to Shion because Shion's a Sonozaki. I understand, you know, like right, you know. Why would she be so drawn to Rena? Does she know about Rena? About what happened with Rena? She probably does. I guess I just assume Takano knows everything, right?
あら、聞いたことくらいあるでしょ。4年前にはダムの現場監督。
Right.
3年前には北条夫妻。2年前には古出夫妻。そして去年は聡子ちゃんのおばが犠牲になったひなみ沢村連続開始事件よ。それがあと何日かで5年目を迎えるじゃない。
Indeed.
一応私もそういう物騒な名前で呼ばれていることは知ってますけど、でも5年目も起こると決まったわけじゃ。
Sure, right? Is that Takano's point? Is that why she does what she does this year? Maybe, I guess.
起こるわよ。絶対に。
Oh, she's not
2度あ
wrong.
ることは3度あるってことわざがあるけど、4度あることは5度あるって方が
I don't know about that.
もっと確率は高いとは思わない？
I don't know about that. Oh, God. Miura-san was convinced that the fifth mysterious death was going to happen, but she didn't know she was going to be the fifth victim. That's ironic, and also really creepy. But there was always something creepy about her. So maybe she knew that she was going to be killed in a few days, but still managed to make that mysterious smile. The series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. Of course, I know about it. I've lived here for more than a year. What does she think about it, though? Every year on the day of the Watanagashi festival, one traitor to the village dies mysteriously. It's been that way since the dam conflict. Each case was solved individually, but mysterious incidents still happen every year. It makes me wonder if there's some kind of will to all this. The creepiness and incomprehensibility of it all gave rise to the name The Curse of Oishiro-sama, which fit perfectly. Despite this, I always thought The Curse of Oishiro-sama was just a series of coincidences. My reason for that is because I strongly believe that Sashikun was the one who murdered his aunt on the 4th year. I don't have any evidence, but I just know it. I don't think that means it's a string of coincidences, though, right? It's not. It's not coincidences. But just because they're not coincidences also doesn't mean that they are like an orchestrated string of murders, right? I don't know. We've talked about that so many times, right? We've talked about that so many times. I know that Sashikun was in a serious predicament last year, and that he had nowhere to turn. He had no one to help him, but he had to save Sadako-chan as soon as he could. Sashikun thought it through, and made the best choice he could to handle the situation, just like I did when I had my problem with Rena. Ooh, the best choice, huh? Best choice. Is it really? Is it really? I don't know. I hesitated to inform Mio-san that Sachikun was the murderer on the 4th year, so I just listened to her for a while. According to her theory, the series of mysterious deaths isn't just a set of coincidences, but is instead a series of interrelated murder cases. At that point, my theory was completely the opposite of hers, but I decided not to cut it.
ひなみ沢のお社様信仰は知ってるわよね。
The cult of Oishiro-sama, huh? Takano-san started telling me that Hinamizawa was once called Onigachi. She also explained the story of how the villagers were in the old days, showing me the scrapbook she was so proud of. The villagers back then were called man-eating demons, but they were also admired as transcendents, enlightened people not bound by earthly desires.
つまりミオさんの説によるならば、連続開始事件はお社様を崇拝する狂信的団体がひなみ沢に潜んでいて、お社様の力を世に示そうとしているということなんですか？
And what's crazy is the only person who feels like they kind of fit that description is Takano, right? Like, in terms of whatever the hell Takano's motives are for what she's doing, right? That seems like the closest to her motives, right? I can imagine it, you know? She kills Rika just to see what happens when Oyashiro-sama dies, you know? So she believes in it in some way, right? She must.
狂信的というか、原理主義的というかは紙一重だけどね。
I'm sure.
明治以降、村の名前がひなみ沢に変わって以来、鬼ヶ淵村が長く続けてきたさまざまな風習が途絶えている。それを蘇らせ、再び鬼ヶ淵村の名と威風を取り戻そうと思っている人たちがいるんじゃないかしら。
Mio-san's theory was more than a little crazy, but it was also fascinating. At first, her theory had sounded like she was just jumping to conclusions, but after she eagerly showed me the documents she'd been studying, I started to think that it wasn't actually too far from the truth. If her theory was true, it would mean that the accidental deaths of the Hojo couple in the second year, the suicide and death by disease of the Furude couple in the third year, and the drug addict murderer in the fourth year were all cooked up. It means someone who has a lot of power and influence over the police was involved. When I pointed that out, Mio-san nodded in agreement, and she started talking about how strongly they were rooted in the village, and how deeply they were involved with many public organizations, the Sonozakis, right? After she finished explaining that, I finally noticed that Mio-san was suggesting that the three families, including the Sonozaki family, were the masterminds behind the murder incidents. What will Rena think about that? What will Rena think about that, right? We just had this whole thing about trusting our friends and all of this, right? I don't know. I'm starting to wonder now if maybe she will be able to fall in to a similar paranoia to Keiichi in chapter 1, right? Maybe. I really like this track. What's this one called? Depressive Paranoia. Right, I always get jump scared by that name. I think this track does a really good job at achieving what it wants to achieve. Okay, so here are my things about all this, right? I don't think Takano believes any of this shit. Right? I don't think Takano thinks it's the three families at all, because she is the one doing it this year. So if she thought it was the Sonozakis doing it every year, why would she kill Tomitake herself this year, right? I don't know, that doesn't make any sense, right? That doesn't make any sense. Why would she do that, you know? But then what is her purpose? What's her point in doing this? Why is she telling everyone this, the Sonozakis, that she thinks it's the Sonozakis? Because that's what she told Keiichi in chapter 3, right? I don't know. I guess more important to me is just how Rena is going to react to that information. In fact, the Sonozaki family really is very powerful. They hold influence not only over Hinamizawa and Okinomiya, but also over the entire Shishibone area. It might not be wrong to say that they even hold influence over the entire prefecture. If the Sonozaki family is behind all of this, her theory would be more realistic. But that means I should be suspicious of Michan, right? And are you? Can you be? No, I shouldn't. But in fact, Michan is very cold and unkind to Sachi-kun. He's going through a tough time. I know there's a conflict between the Sonozaki family and the Hojo family during the Dam Wars, but still, she's very cold to Sachi-kun. I guess my side, I understand. I understand what they mean by thinking they failed. Because imagine if you had a friend who felt like they had no one to turn to, nothing to do, but to have this horrible shit that happened to Sachi happen, right? Sure, right? I would feel like I failed them in some way, right? But there are times where you are truly powerless, like in chapter 3, right? Like what they were saying, that as the whole theme of that chapter was powerlessness, right? Where it really seems like you're powerless. And especially, again, as children, there's very little that you really can do. What should Mion have done, right? Tried to really fight back against Oryu and everyone and convince them to what? Stop hating the Hojos? What would they have done to her, right? I don't know. Right? Like, I guess you can say that's Mion's biggest problem, right? Is that she lacks a spine almost, right? And maybe that's too harsh, but maybe so, right? She has this power, but it's almost like she's a victim of her own power in a way. You know what I mean? I just still think viewing it in that way, it feels so unfair to Mion to me. That's just I just can't stop thinking of it like that. And I forgave her, too. I didn't want to think about that again. I decided to change the subject, because I knew it would make me feel uncomfortable if we kept talking about the Sonozaki family.
そもそもお社様信仰って一体何なんでしょうね。
Oh, I don't like that. No, Rena's gonna fall into it for sure. Rena's really gonna fall into it for sure. This is just the conflict I'm gonna have for, like, forever, isn't it, right? Just the feeling that I have that Mion shouldn't feel like she even did anything wrong, right? I just don't know if she should blame herself for it. I don't know. I don't think she should. It's really hard for me. You know, if you have a case for why it was all Mion's fault, tell me, I guess. But I don't really think it is. I don't know, right? I think no matter what, even if you say that there's more she could have done, possibly in some world, I still think putting all that responsibility on her shoulders is, like, not right. I don't know, right? But I guess that's the whole thing, right? It's the responsibility you should feel towards your friends, right? Of course. It's very important. That's the entire thing that Rena to Your Friends was all about, right? So maybe I should be careful saying that kind of thing, you know? I don't know. I don't know if I'm just being defensive of Mion when I shouldn't be. But no, I think I'm thinking of the situation, like, objectively in a sense, because I just don't know what power Mion realistically has to do anything about it. And it's so... seeing them torture people, right? Like, seeing that the Sotozakis will torture you for things. I don't know. And Mion did it too, right? You remember yeah, right? So, her fingernails? I don't know.
鬼と人が共存というのも面白い話です。普通の昔話だったら鬼が来たら退治してやっつけるという風なのに。
Interesting.
そうね。そのあたりがお社様信仰の面白いところね。
That the demons were protected?
でも、
Yeah.
そもそも神の国から神が漂着してきて崇められるというのは決して珍しいことではないのよ。漂着神崇拝って言ってね、世界中に海の向こうからあるいは川上から神が漂着してきて、それを人々が敬ったという類の神話が残されているわ。
Makes me think of Monogatari.
それは偉人漂着の話でしょうか。
そういう捉え方も一般的ね。古代日本は大陸に比べると様々な文化が遅れている。
So the idea is the demons were actually people from another country, right?
進んだ文化を持った異国人が漂着した結果、
gods,
その知識を敬い神と祀った。
そういえば日本に伝わる赤鬼や青鬼もナンパして漂着した異国人のことを指すのではないかという説がありましたね。
I don't know if that's true, if that's the true origin, like that story, or if that's just like an explanation people have come up with, you know.
天狗のいわゆる真っ赤で鼻が異様に高い顔も欧米人を見慣れない古代の人々が作り上げたのかもしれないし。
あら、レナちゃんもなかなか鋭い見方ができるわね。
She sure is.
それには私も同感よ。大方の漂着神信仰の原点は私も偉人漂着にあると思うわ。でもそうだとすると鬼ヶ淵村の鬼が現れたとする漂着神信仰にはちょっと不思議な点がある。わかるかしら？
わからないです。
簡単よ。鬼ヶ淵村には海がない。
Sure, true.
確かに。
Right.
偉人漂着なら外の世界とつながる接点が欠かせないはずよ。
Interesting.
欧米なら異国に通じるから。
And they've made a point many times about how isolated Hinamizawa is, like in chapter 4, you know?
日本なら世界に接する海。だから日本における漂着神崇拝もそのほとんどは沿岸部に集中するわね。
鬼ヶ淵村以外に漂着し、そこから旅をしてここまでやってきた可能性はありませんか？
Maybe. But it would be different. I feel like it would be different then if they just walked here, you know?
お社様信仰の決定的なところ
And they came from the swamp.
鬼が漂着した場所を
yeah.
鬼ヶ淵沼とはっきり特定している点なの。鬼ヶ淵沼には何も流れ着かない。そんなところになぜどこから漂着したのか。実はこの辺にお社様信仰の謎を探る面白さがあるのよ。お社様の伝説はどの程度知ってるかしら？
She knows quite a bit in reality. I feel like I know a lot about it, but I actually don't. Interesting. I just have an extreme fear of the rule to not leave Hinamizawa. I guess that's true. Yeah. After all, my life went wrong after I left. I felt dizzy when I tried to think about it further, so I stopped. When everything went wrong in Ibaraki, I met Oishiro-sama, and he told me to go back to Hinamizawa. No. I'll get dizzy. Ooh. Don't try to remember. I can't remember. Someday. Eventually, we're going back to that, right? We have to. I got desperate because I felt responsible for the divorce. I just used Oishiro-sama as an excuse for my mental instability and told my father I wanted to go back to Hinamizawa, right? But wait, Oishiro-sama did come to me. Oh no, the colors are too dazzling. I can only remember the vivid color of the pills and the dizziness. Ooh. Man.
それだけ知ってれば十分よ。鬼が淵より鬼が湧き出し、それを見かねたお社様が降臨して鬼たちを平服させたわ。鬼たちは地獄を追放され、行き場がないことを嘆き、それで村人たちは鬼たちを気の毒に思って村に住まわせてあげようと決めた。そしてお社様は村人たちの心に感銘を受け、鬼たちに人の姿を与え、村に共存させたという。
I'm just thinking about how Rena is really getting the tag team of Ooishi plus Takano, telling her all this crazy shit while we have depressive paranoia plan. You know, like, fuck. Oh god. Things are not gonna go well. Oh no. Oh no.
そうです。そういう話だったと思います。
I felt dizzy, like I was going to faint, because I touched the one memory I didn't want to.
神話の多くは古代の何らかの事実を
God, her
原型
reaction
に
to
してい
it's
る
so
と言われる
crazy.
ことが多いんだけど、レナちゃんはこの神話から何を読み取れるかしら？
Because I was still feeling dizzy, all I could do was tilt my head quizzically. It seemed like Mio-san was expecting that response, because she smiled, looking satisfied that she successfully made me confused. She took a scrapbook out of her paper bag.
これ
Oh, God, literally, right? Like, just like Shion. Oh my god.
ありがとうございます。
Oh no. Oh, it's over for her. You can't stand up to the Ooishi, like, insanity interrogation making you go crazy and Takano giving you her notebook. Like, it's over. Like, what are we gonna do?
でも
Oh
私、
god.
いいのよ。暇な夜長にでも思い出したら読んでくれれば結構。レナちゃんは鋭いところがあるみたいだから、それを読んだ上で今度じっくり議論を交わしたいわね。私も肯定的であれ敵対的であれ、
She
議論
really
の相
is,
手がいなく
but
て寂しいのよ。
I don't know.
二郎さん、
I don't know.
こういうのにはさっぱり興味のない人だし。
It's interesting, assuming, like I'm quite positive now that Rena is going to be affected by the crazy shit that makes you go crazy in this chapter. It's interesting now that Takano is kind of I don't even know. It's like she always knows. It's like she always knows who's gonna do it, and somehow forms a connection with them beforehand, you know? That's very interesting. That is very interesting. I had little choice but to take the scrapbook. Apparently Mio-san came to the library often, so I figured I could return it to her whenever I came to return my books. However, the day I'd returned the scrapbook to Mio-san never came. Right, and she still has it.
さっきからうつろね。
Oh god.
体調悪いの？
あ、ちょっと夏風邪気味で、まだ病み上がりなんです。
It wasn't the summer cold that was making me feel dizzy. I always get dizzy when I try to remember the time I met Oishiro-sama in Ibaraki. I feel like it has to be like PTSD, like some kind of, I don't even know, what would cause that kind of reaction in you, you know? I mustered all my courage and asked her. My memory of those days in Ibaraki is blurry. I know I met Oishiro-sama. Nobody believed me, and they told me it was a hallucination. But I thought Mio-san would listen to me.
ミオさん、今度は私の話を聞
Oh
いてもらっ
god,
てもいい
please
ですか？
don't. Please don't. You should not go to Takano for help about anything. She's the last person you should talk to. God, when she won't even talk to her friends. It's so sad.
いいわよ。聞いてもらったお返しに今度は私が聞くわ。
いえ、お社様の話なんです。
Okay.
笑われないかとても不安です。
笑わないわよ。あなたも私の話を笑わなかったもの。
Mio-san said it in a very gentle and mature way, and that encouraged me. Even so, I still hesitated to talk. But there's probably nobody but Mio-san with whom I could talk about something like this. I gathered my courage again and spoke.
私、 お社様に
Oh.
会ったことがあるんで
Oh
す。
God. What is she gonna think about that, huh?
本当に？
はい、
Oh fuck.
私小学校に上がる前まではひなみ沢に住んでいたんです。それが母の仕事の関係で茨城に引っ越したんです。この意味はわかりますよね。
わかるわよ。
Right.
ひなみ
Right.
沢を
Yeah.
離れてはならないという
Because you're a
お社
demon.
様の禁忌に触れたという
Hmm.
ことね。
そうです。
Oh, but she's gonna have to try and remember it to like tell her about it, right?
いろいろ悪いことが起こって母が離婚し
Hmm.
家庭はぐちゃぐちゃになりました。私も自暴自棄になって
Ooh.
悪いことをしたりしま
I
した。
guess that's a good way to
辛
phrase
い
it,
こと
huh?
もあったのね。それで
Again, like I guess my perspective on it still, I guess it's still not really that different, right? I just think Rena's almost using Oishiro-sama as an excuse to like describe her own actions or explain her own actions, you know? Because she's unable to, she can't think about it otherwise, you know?
世の中の何もかもが嫌になって自分以外の幸せな人たち
Ooh.
全部が私を見下しているように感じた最後の頃、
Interesting.
不思議な存在が現れるようになったんです。
それがお社様？
初めて現れたのは内緒ですよ。全部嫌になって自分を
Oh,
壊してしまいたい
oh,
と思って
girl, no, no.
刃物を突きつけたことがあったんです。
Awesome, great, good. That's really cool. Oh, girl, come on. Hmm.
その時首をカミソリで切りつけたら
Oh,
血に混じって
Jesus.
ブクブクと汚らしい何かが溢れ出したんです。
On her neck.
それは
バカにしないわよ。続けて。
The chill I felt at that time came back to me. I sealed that memory away so I wouldn't have to remember ever again. Oh god, this is so... But once I unsealed it, I started remembering things one after another. Yes, back then, there's something in the blood. Something crawling. Right. Right.
赤黒い無数のウジ虫だったんです。
What? What?
それらは首から血がこぼれるのと一緒にわらわらと湧き出してきました。
Okay. Right.
そいつらは外へ溢れまいと傷口から再び中へ戻っていこうとわらわらうごめいていたんです。
Okay.
そんな気持ち悪いのに
Oh, like ripping out your own throat, kinda. Uh-huh.
でもそれ以上は痛くて血まみれになるばかりで、それで私は急に怖くなり
Oh,
ました。
Jesus Christ.
私の体の中には血管いっぱいにあの気持ち悪いウジ虫がぎっしり詰まっているんじゃないかって。
Oh,
それで私
girl.
は試しにカミソリでモモの
It's
血管を開
great.
いてみ
Good.
ました。
Uh-huh.
そこ
Uh-huh.
ならよく見えると思ったから。
Jesus Christ.
そしたら溢れてきたんです。ドバッとわらわらっと。
I understand, Fuku-san, so please calm down. Oh god. Oh god. What do I even say about that? Like, holy shit. Ah.
分かってないってば。そのウジ虫たちは血と一緒にドバッと溢れ出すけどすぐに元の血管の中に戻ろうとする。それがとてもかゆいんです。
Jesus Christ, girl. Please bring a doctor. No, no, no. Don't claw at it like that. Bring me a sedative. Hurry. Hold her down.
私の血管
Oh
の
my
中のウジ虫を
god.
やっつけて血を全部抜いてきれいにして。
Yeah, okay. Okay. Never mind about me wanting to, like, know about all of this. I'm... right.
私の血管にはウジ虫がいっぱい詰まってるの。どうして信じないの？見せてあげるから。見れば信じるでしょ。
Oh god, please. Oh, Jesus.
いやいやいやいやいや。
Right. Okay.
落ち着いて。
Jesus. Mio sat next to me and held my hands tightly. Her touch brought me back to reality.
それで
Oh my god.
どうしたの？
そんな誰も私のことを信じてくれないときに
Oh god.
あらお社様が
The memory was very vague, and I saw flickering lights. It made it difficult for me to remember. I met Oyashiro-sama. That sentence is all I remembered. The memory of actually meeting Oyashiro-sama was unbelievably vague. Oh. After I got out of the hospital, I continued being treated at home. I still felt something moving in my veins, so I wanted to cut my body to make the blood ooze out so that I could make sure there were no maggots in there. Usually, I was sleeping like the dead because of the strong pills I was taking. Oh my god, I just don't... Oh. But one day I forgot to take the pill, and my consciousness was very clear. I felt the maggots moving in my veins. I felt the urge to look inside. I cut a vein on my wrist. I knew it. A lot of blood and many dusky red maggots came out from the wound. I wanted to wash them off before they crawled back inside me, so I put my wrist under running water in the bathroom sink and tried to open the vein. Water, blood, and maggots ran down the drain. Just like squeezing out the pus from a pimple, I squeezed the vein to get rid of the dirty blood and the maggots. I kept doing it. My arms started to feel numb, and I felt cold, but I kept doing it. I thought I might die from losing too much blood, but I kept doing it. My body was filled with maggots. I had to squeeze all my blood out of me. Jesus Christ. And then, a very bright light shone upon me. It was a very bizarre sensation. I had never experienced anything like it in my life. All of a sudden, the dark bathroom was filled with a bright light. It was very bright but gentle. It wasn't like the light from the merciless fluorescent bulb. It was very warm and gentle. This was Oyashiro-sama. Oyashiro-sama was looking at me with gentleness and sadness in his eyes. As he touched my wounds, the maggots started melting and disappeared in front of my eyes. That wasn't all. All the maggots that were moving throughout all my veins disappeared too. Oyashiro-sama taught me. These maggots were the curse. People of the demon's blood can't live outside of Hinamizawa. It's the rule. Unfortunately, you've been cursed. It's very sad, and I feel sorry for you. There's only one way to save you. That's what he said. What should I do? The answer is very simple. All I needed was to go back to Hinamizawa. Unconsciously, I knew that before I heard it from Oyashiro-sama. People who were born in Hinamizawa must never leave. But I broke Oyashiro-sama's rules, and I left Hinamizawa. That's why my family was broken, and I lost my mind. If I hadn't left Hinamizawa, nothing would have gone wrong. And so, I had to go back. Oyashiro-sama also told me this. He could make the maggots, the embodiment of the curse, disappear, but only temporarily, because I lived far from Hinamizawa. After a while, the power of Oyashiro-sama would fade away, and the curse would start eating my body again. If that happened, the maggots would take over my body, and I would go insane and die. I must go back to Hinamizawa, before his power to hold down the curse faded away. That's what Oyashiro-sama told me. He did. I heard him tell me that. I should have gone back to Hinamizawa earlier. That's why Oyashiro-sama came to put his curse on me. But he gave me a chance. He gave me a chance to pay for my sin of leaving Hinamizawa. What a nice thought that is, right? To have a way to fix it, right? To just be able to just go back and... You know, that's what it feels like it's all tied up in. It feels wrong. It feels wrong to try and, like, analyze all of this in a way. Because it's such an obvious, like, just... I don't know, right? It's like trying to analyze the... It's such a clear, like, mental health thing that she's having. You know what I mean? It feels like so... It somehow feels, like, very fundamentally wrong to like, analyze it in the way I normally do. You know what I mean? I hope you understand. I think it's probably... It's pretty obvious, I guess, like, the meaning you can take from her feeling like there's maggots in her blood. And that she has to cut herself, and... that, you know, there's this solution of going back to Hinamizawa. I hope it's self-evident enough, because it feels so horrible to think about or talk about that I just don't even want to. So, yeah. Dad, listen. Oyashiro-sama is going to help us. Let's go back to Hinamizawa. Hinamizawa is the place where we must live. If we don't, not only me, but you might be cursed too. Let's go back to Hinamizawa. That's the only place where we can live. We need to hurry. We need to hurry, or Oyashiro-sama's power will fade away, and my body will be eaten by the maggots. Oh no, Oyashiro-sama is following me. He's telling me to hurry. He follows me everywhere and keeps telling me to hurry. He keeps apologizing for putting his curse on me. He follows me everywhere and keeps apologizing. Oh god. Oh god, yeah. Right? Something following her? Apologizing? I mean, it's like she's been affected by it twice, right? It's like she's been affected by it twice, you know? Back then, she was affected by it, and she didn't die, right? So how did she get better then, you know? I'm telling you the truth. I am. Why can't anybody see it? Why can't they see the maggots or Ishiro-sama? But at the same time, it's like, this feels like such a realistic, like, actual, like, mental health thing, that it doesn't feel... It feels weird to just sign it away as, oh, this is just the crazy shit that makes you go crazy, like all the other characters have been affected by, you know? Everybody's trying to fool me. I know they can see them too. No, please stop. I don't want to get another shot. Man. God. Rena, girl, man. I was breathing hard, and Miya-san was holding my shoulders. I could feel that the terrible memory I'd been trying to forget was awakening. The doctors told me that the memory was just my delusion. They told me that since I blamed myself for the divorce, I unconsciously had a desire to blame someone else for it, and I unconsciously connected the desire to the folktale of Oishiro-sama that I read when I was little. I got drug treatment, received counseling, and waited. I gradually got better, and that proved the things I saw were just a hallucination. The doctors asked my father to consider moving to Hinamizawa if possible. Fortunately, he wanted to change his living environment to heal his pain from the divorce as well. So we came back to Hinamizawa. After we came to Hinamizawa, I felt it. I felt it in my bones that this was the place we should live. And I also felt Oishiro-sama's blessing. I definitely felt it. I felt the curse of Oishiro-sama starting to break. I was free. After I moved here, I went to the clinic in Gogura for a while. The doctor gave me the same poisonous-looking pills, and I kept taking them for a while. The terrible memory gradually became unclear. Whenever I tried to remember it, I could only remember the strong side effect of the pills, and it made me dizzy. That's how I regained my peace. And then, I changed my name, Rena. The reason was because my name reminded me of those bad memories. I didn't want to have anything icky in my life anymore. That's why I came up with the idea of taking icky things out. After I took the I of icky out from my name, Rena, there was only the Re and Na left. That's how Rena was born. I liked that. When I was introduced to my classmates, I told them to call me Rena. Since then, that has been my name. I'm living my new life as Rena. I cut away all the sad things that happened when I was Rena. My father still calls me Rena, but I don't feel bad as long as it was just my father and my relatives. But then, Rena came into my life one day, and she called me Rena. Because she called me Rena, those colored lights started flickering again. I should stop. I should forget about it. The lights were still flickering. Oh, God. God. It just feels so, like... I don't even know how to describe the feeling I get from it, you know? Like, just all of that, like...
私だいぶ取り乱してました。
小声で何かつぶやいてたわね。落ち着いたならよかったわ。
Well, thank you, Takano. Even though you like murdering people, it's okay. Judging by Miyo-san's reaction, I wasn't panicking as badly as I thought I was. But I've probably had those panicked hallucinations several times. If I started screaming and yelling like I once did, they'd take me away to a hospital again for sure. God, and that's probably part of her fear of like opening up to people too. You know what I mean? It's probably connected to that.
確かにお社様に会ったんです。もちろん、ウジ虫も。
Oh.
信じられませんよね。
It is. Miyo-san smiled, looking a little confused. I couldn't blame her. I didn't expect her to believe it. I'm sure it was just a strange memory I created to myself in my hallucinations. I mean, it's like if you tried to tell Keiichi that everything he was seeing in Chapter 1 was, like, not real and he was just crazy, you know? That's not the... you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like... Because of course she would remember that she saw it, right? Because she did see it, right? She did see it. Yeah. I can't believe I can't trust myself. That's not how you should take it. That isn't how you should take it. That's the worst feeling of all.
レナちゃん、まず一つ安心してほしいの。
はい。
レナちゃんが怖がっているたたり、つまり血の中にいたというウジ虫。それはお社様が言うには、ひなみ沢にいる限りは大丈夫なんでしょう？
ええ、そう言ってました。
なら怯えることはないじゃない。
I suppose, because you're in Hinamizawa. But, I mean, I feel like, I don't know if Takano...
あなたは今、
Oh,
ひなみ沢にいる。
I don't know if she has the
まあ
best intentions,
この
you
図書
know?
館は沖宮だけど、このくらいの距離ならお社様も許してくれるわね。
Sure,
血
sure.
管の内側に何かが
Oh
うごめい
god,
ている
what
なんて
oh.
感じな。
それは、
Oh god.
はい。
だから
It's like the
安心
most
して。
visceral idea, you know, the idea of things crawling around inside your veins. I just don't even... Oh, man.
あなたは今、お社様の戒律をちゃんと守ってる。
Oh, god.
だから何も恐れなくていいの。だってそうでしょうね。
はい。はい。
I didn't know until then she was such a warm-hearted person. She isn't. She isn't, unfortunately. She isn't. I met many doctors and talked to them about this, but they always ignored me and didn't really listen. All they did was give me a shot of the drug I hated. On the other hand, Miyo-san didn't deny my story or the existence of Oishiro-sama. The people in this village whispered behind her back that she's a little crazy. But she was actually a very kind person, I thought.
レナちゃん、私は今の話全部信じるわ。
ありがとうございます。
I'm sure she does. I'm sure she believed that Rena experienced those things, right?
そう言ってくれた人は初めてかもです。
それは私も同じよ。私の話をバカにしないでちゃんと聞いてくれた人はあなたが初めて。私たちいい友達になれそうね。
Interesting. Miya-san smiled, touching my head with hers.
なら私の秘蔵のファイルとスクラップも貸してあげるわね。
Her secret files.
本当に本当の門外不出。私以外の誰にも見せる気がなかったんだけど、レナちゃんには特別に読ませてあげてもいい気がするわ。あなたならバカにしないでちゃんと読んでくれそうな気がするし。
I imagine she will. She took a few scrapbooks out of her paper bag and handed them to me.
ぜひ読んで感想を聞かせてね。あるいはひょっとするとレナちゃんにしかわからないことなのかもしれない。
Interesting. Miya-san was acting mysteriously. She smiled mischievously and put her index finger on her lips as a sign to keep it a secret.
あとこのスクラップ帳と私がそういう研究しているのは、
I gotta go back to chapter 2 sometime and read all the tips, all the scrapbook tips again. Just to
内緒
like
ですか？
make sure I really know everything that's like in this that the characters read, you know?
はい、わかりました。
だってこんな研究をしているのが連中に知られたら消されてしまうかもしれないものね。
Right, right. Uh-huh. She laughed after she said that. They might erase her. That's what she said. And she went missing. She left me her scrapbooks. But that's not all there is to it. It's the way Tomitake-san died. Ooishi-san said he committed suicide because of the state of excitation created by using some kind of drug. But I know what really happens. I didn't tell Ooishi-san about it. I don't think he'd have believed me even if I told him. Without a doubt, Tomitake-san died trying to get rid of the maggots. Right, of course she would. Yeah, she would think of it like that. It was nothing other than the curse of Oishiro-sama. To never leave Hinamizawa isn't the only rule of Oishiro-sama. There were more. He might have broken one of them without knowing it. Ooishi-san told me. Tomitake-san was taking pictures with his camera flash on during the sacred ritual dance, and some people got mad at him for it. Did Ooishi just make that up? Probably, right? Did Oishiro-sama put his curse on Tomitake because he violated the sacred ritual dance? It might be for another reason. Anyway, he died from the curse of Oishiro-sama, without a doubt. Make up like that people are mad about it, not that he took pictures. Did that mean Oishiro-sama put his curse on Miyo-san too? Investigating the gods is the same as getting close to the gods. It's disrespecting them. But Miyo-san told me that they might get rid of her if they found out about her investigation. By they, she meant humans. Plus, according to her theory, the three families are in a conspiracy to revive the faith of Oishiro-sama. But I can tell by the way Tomitake-san died that it was the act of the curse. I'm certain about that because I experienced the curse myself. and at first glance, that seemed incompatible with those conspiracy theories about human beings. I remember that Ooishi-san told me something about some kind of drug that can make a person commit suicide. So did the three families have a secret drug that can cause the curse of Aishiro-sama? That's impossible. Plus, I didn't get any shots of a suspicious drug like that. I had a normal life in Ibaraki. Yeah, right? That's actually so important, right? That she is so far away. Because of this troll idea that the syringe is what causes it, right? And is the curse itself or whatever, right? Is the crazy shit that makes you go crazy. If that was true, how would you explain Rena, right? Because she was so far away, right? Yeah, right? I wasn't involved with the Sonozaki family or the Kimiyoshi family. Ooishi-san asked me a favor. He asked me to tell him secretly if I saw or heard anything suspicious. It could be about Mi-chan, Rika-chan, or anybody in the village. Mio-san believed my story about Oishiro-sama. Now she's gone. And I mean, it could be as simple as when Rena got back to Hinamizawa, she was able to get better because Iri gave her the syringe, the cure, right? Like, I mean, that could be why she got better, why she didn't die, why she didn't kill herself like all the other people who get to the same point that she seemed to be at, right? Tomitake-san died by doing the same thing I did. Ooh, I see. Okay. So she thinks they got them. I don't want to get involved with the curse of Oishiro-sama. Is this a conspiracy or a group of fanatical cult members? Of a group of fanatical cult members? Or is it the curse of Oishiro-sama? Is everything just a set of coincidences? Or maybe it's a mixture of a conspiracy and the curse? I don't know. Is it the work of humans, the curse, or a coincidence? Oh no. Even the light of the sunset was making me feel dizzy. When did the sunset in Hinamizawa get so mean? Mio-san told me to keep her investigation secret. I have her top secret scrapbooks. They might hold the truth about everything. When I realized that, I got scared all of a sudden. I might end up the same way as Mio-san, because I have her scrapbooks. Oh no. If it's a conspiracy, I'll be erased. Oh, she's gonna... No. What was I saying about her being safer from the paranoia than Keiichi was? Oh god. If it's the curse, I'll be cursed. I should burn the scrapbooks. That's the safest thing to do. But Mio-san believed my story. Mio-san listened to me without laughing. It'd be wrong to burn them without taking a look. If it's a conspiracy, I'd have to expose it. And if it's the curse, I have to break it. I shouldn't run away. I should fight. That's right. I decided to fight to seize my happiness. I shouldn't give in to misfortunes. I have to fight. I'm going to get rid of all the things that are trying to ruin my peaceful life. I'm going to read her scrapbooks when I get home. I started walking faster. Is that the end? Damn. Oh, God. Oh, no. She's being tag-teamed. It's so over. I mean, it's so over, right? It's so over. Lunch takeout list. What could that possibly be about? What could a lunch takeout list possibly be? like, huh? Have to go eat lunch in the Yogoshi Mountains? Like, ATTN. Kuroda Mental Clinic. Ooh, I see. Hello. To get straight to the point, we can assume that this is an acute case of post-traumatic stress disorder. The patient is subject to tremendous stress because of her parents' sudden divorce, and being divorced to choose to live with either her mother or her father. Furthermore, the patient firmly believes that she was responsible for her parents' divorce, which further drives her self-mutilation. Yeah. The patient's largest shock stems from a sense of betrayal of her own household, which she believed was an absolute safe haven. Henceforth, there is a high possibility that the patient will resort to psychological defense measures to protect her family. For example, she might feel a high disdain for any person of the opposite sex who approaches her father. She might feel uncomfortable at having other people in her home. She may also display eccentric behavior in order to keep people away from it. As an example of this latter, there are reported cases of patients unconsciously bringing home garbage. It's highly important that the patient remains in close communication with her father. By deepening the communication between the two of them, it'll strengthen their family bond, and loosen up her anxiety. I don't like that, because I don't think that's her behavior at all. I don't think that's why she brings their cute stuff home at all, you know? I don't really think so, but I don't know. Since the patient only shows signs of an acute syndrome in this case, there's a very good chance that she'll recover within 3 months with her father's support and proper medication. However, it's common for a patient who seemed to have recovered to have a sudden reoccurrence, a flashback, even after 10 years. Her father is still fairly young, and there's still a chance that he could remarry. However, seeing an unfamiliar member of the opposite sex through remarriage could trigger a flashback in the patient, which may lead to avoidance behavior or hyper-awareness. Please explain this part thoroughly to the father in order for him to understand the recovery process. Should the father decide to remarry, it's recommended that he should hold off on telling the patient until she reaches the age which she's capable of living independently. Also, the cause of the patient's psychosomatic self-mutilating behavior, delusional parasitosis, seem to be its own culture-bound syndrome. The patient blindly believes that leaving her home village will cause a curse, and that this curse was the cause of her parents' divorce. We believe that this is the subconscious defense mechanism to reduce her mental trauma by shifting the blame from herself to her village's curse. According to the patient's statement, the culture of her home village is extremely strict and exclusive. The patient believes that there's no way to be saved from the curse other than by going back to the village, as the curse will continue as long as she lives in her current environment. Through this, we see an inclination of schizophrenia, and believe the chances are high that the patient will continue to alter their perceived reality. Schizophrenia, a case where patients' personalities are reduced, causing altered perceptions of reality and delusions. Her delusion about the maggots dwelling in her blood is a perfect example, and is also the cause of her psychosomatic self-mutilating behavior. When a delusion involves psychosomatic self-mutilating behavior, it's extremely dangerous. I highly recommend for the father to move back to the village if he's financially capable. Allowing her to live with relatives in the village might also work. If such a strong belief can induce symptoms such as self-mutilation, then there might be cases similar to this one. Perhaps prior medical files that document similar culture-bound syndromes may be available at a large medical institution in a local area. Maybe so. It will then be possible to provide better and more accurate mental care for the patient by obtaining these case files. This B5 size letter was with a bunch of memos. The following was on the back side of the letter. Oh, it's the lunch menu, right. Okay, interesting. It's very, like, medicalized, right? It's very, like, medicalizing her symptoms very much, right? Which is maybe just the reality of it in a way. It doesn't have to be the same thing that feels like it's affected every other character in the story, right? Like the crazy shit, right? It doesn't have to be that, you know? But it feels so much like it is. Yeah, it's so hard to say. I don't know, right? I don't know. Obviously, yeah, there aren't maggots in her blood, but that's not a good way to, you know, when someone's hallucinating, you don't just scream at them and say, no, you're hallucinating, right? That's pointless, you know? That's not what you do. So, obviously, right? But I don't know. I feel so bad for her. Oh my god, I feel so bad for her. Like, oh god, it just gets worse and worse, right? Like, oh, girl, Rena, honey, come on. Can we have a happy ending? We won't, though. Rika dies in 5 days, right? We have the countdown. The countdown is coming, right? What do we do? What do we do about that? You know, like, ah, oh, god. I don't know. Let alone whatever's gonna happen with Rena, right? I don't know. Well, this was a really depressing and sad chapter for me. So I'm sad. I don't know. It feels like it's stuff that feels like it's really hard for me to talk about, honestly. So I don't know. Maybe I just won't that much. Like, it just feels like something that's really hard for me to like think about or talk about or like, yeah, because it just really is not good. Okay, well, I suppose that is it. So, if you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and I will see you in the next one.